Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And talking about with this Raw, really good. I liked it. I can't speak for everyone else. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good. Build up for Survivor Series, you know, Team Authority versus Team Cena. Kind of like, very much so in the same sense that, you know, it was like Alliance versus Team WWE. Now, yeah, Vince came out. He started the show, which I absolutely loved. And, you know, I'm going to put it out there now. I didn't watch all of Raw live. I only saw like maybe the first hour and a half. You know, my son was over. His bedtime came to be. So, obviously, you know, yeah, priorities, he comes first. You know, I did get it on DVR though, so, yeah, thankfully. Vince wound up coming out. He wound up hyping up the network, Survivor Series, you know, and I've been kind of shitting on Survivor Series for a while. You know, it's a big reason, you know, they took away the big emphasis on tag teams, and, you know, you guys know me, you know, it was... I've always been a tag team guy. You know, when I wrestled, I was a tag team guy. You know, we made our, you know, we wound up making our own promotion, you know, like IWF or Omega kind of deal, like what Matt Hardy did. Like what the Hardys did with making Omega. We did that. Yeah, but we did that, and, you know, we wound up doing... I'm thinking too far ahead. Let me slow myself down. Vince wound up coming out, hyping up the network, the show, the pay-per-view for it, saying everyone in the month of November that subscribes gets it for free, including the pay-per-view, which I can't speak for everyone else. I don't see this as a downside, as them showing desperation like, oh man, we still haven't broken even with subscribers yet. No, I don't see it in that kind of manner. I see it from a promotional standpoint, because between doing that and canceling the 6-month commitment clause for the signing on with the network, I actually like that idea, because, and speaking firsthand as a promoter, you know, because if you follow me on Twitter at Tim Vicious, you know firsthand, I promote the hell out of this show, and I'm sorry if it winds up bothering a lot of you when I do it, but, you know, viewers aren't going to come to me, so I got to go to them. And they're doing pretty much in that same kind of aspect. Well, they're not coming to us, so we got to reach out to them kind of deal. And, yeah, it's very good. It's a good idea from a promotional standpoint. You know, I don't see it as a sign of desperation like most people are. I'm blaming the dirt sheets for, excuse me, for overhyping, saying, oh, they only got this many people, they got this and this and this. Dude, seriously. Guys, seriously. You're putting out too much info to the fan base, and you're getting a lot of smarky McSmarkertons who think they know what they're talking about, just turning that little pile of shit that you're giving us and turning it into a giant freaking mountain. And that's what's making it go, and that's what's having a lot of people get stressed and making jokes about the network and not buying. You know? Back to the show. Back to the show. Vince wound up, he cut that, and then he said, why don't we up the ante with the Survivor Series match with Team Authority versus Team Cuckfina. If the Authority loses, they're no longer in power. And yeah, I like that idea for the stipulation, because now it's, okay, now it really is like the Alliance versus WWE. Winner take all. You know? It was good. Now, after that, Steph and Tripp had to basically act like they were hiding a deer in the headlight look like, what? And, which was good, you know? And they were just like, oh, okay. Oh, shit, what did he just get us into? And Vince is just looking like, what? I own this bitch. I can do whatever I want. And, yeah, he really can. Excuse me. Now, first match of the night. Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro. Before this match even started, I wound up starting to think it a little too much, and I had an interesting conversation with a good buddy of mine on the Twitter, Jose Skullmageddon. He hit the nail on the head for me. I was overthinking the match. I was overthinking about these two going at it like, I like seeing these guys go at it, but man, it's starting to feel like Orton versus Cena because it's just we're getting it over and over and over and over again. And Jose, if you're watching us, God bless you, brother. You hit the nail on the head for me. Just, dude, chill. They're giving us good matches. Enjoy it. And, I was overthinking and I was overanalyzing that. And, you said that helped me, so very much so. Thank you. Their match, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful kind of a match to start out the show with. Best part on that was I normally give crap for when they cut the commercials during the show. Everyone knows that. Or cut the commercials in the middle of a match, not during the show, I should say. But they wound up doing that. But the way they did it, they had Bray's little video play, and then they cut the commercial, which just had me sitting there like, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was good. You need that. You get people sitting on the edge like, what the hell just happened? So you got to wind up thinking what's going on, what's going to happen. Next thing you know, you wind up doing that, and it was beautiful. It was good. I liked it. Only part on that I didn't like was when they came back, you just had Bray sitting in the rocker like this up at the apron watching. Like, seriously, Bray sitting there just kind of felt like a third wheel. I mean, why not just have that play and then Ambrose looking around like, huh? What happened? Where is he? Something like that. And that would work for me. But, back to the match. Ambrose wound up getting the win. He wound up doing the underhook DDT that they're now saying is Dirty Deeds instead of using the headlock driver, which I so wish that they would have that back. I miss the headlock driver. But, yeah. Next matchup, it was one of the Usos versus Miz, and this match felt like a basic time filler. Best part of the match was the other Uso that was outside of the ring was mimicking the Uso in the ring, and of course Mizdow. You get the one Uso going, slapping on an armbar, and you see the Uso holding up like that, like he is, and then you got Mizdow standing right next to him like he's doing it, like not that he's putting the move on him, but actually standing literally next to him, like person to person, like this, and selling it. And I absolutely love on how Mizdow just always winds up mimicking Miz on everything. That is just pure freaking gold. Whatever he's getting paid needs to be tripled. It needs to be tripled, and that man, you could have Mizdow, you could book on the card Mizdow versus Imaginary Bear, and he would still make that show great. Which, by the way, Survivor Series, that would be good for a fantasy booking. Damien Mizdow versus Imaginary Bear. Book it. Anyways, Miz wound up getting the lead. Miz wound up getting the win on what it was. The one Uso wound up going attacking Mizdow after he tossed Miz in, and the other Uso was distracted from it. He got back in the ring. Miz took advantage of it. Bam! Skull Crusher got the 1, 2, 3. Next matchup, Sheamus versus Tyson Kidd, and not saying this as a knock on Kidd, but in all honesty, Kid really should just go back to NXT because his career is thriving there. It is not going to go anywhere on the main roster. And I'm not saying this as a knock, but Kid is not WWE's prototype for the main roster on that. I mean, it's as much as I love seeing him work, he is the short guy in a room full of freaking giants, you know? So he's not going to get noticed and he's going to get underutilized. Yep. And the match itself, it was pretty decent, you know. Sheamus was doing some ass kicking. Kid was getting offense in. Kid, surprisingly, much to my surprise, wound up getting a win via countout, but a win's a win, no matter how you slice it. So, you know, you just put it like that. If you think on it like that, then all that tells you is a short little 5'10", 190-pound guy just beat the crap out of a 6 foot, almost 300-pound Irishman. Yeah, there you go. That happened. Next matchup, impromptu intercontinental match. Seth versus Ziggler. Now, before that, Hummer came out, cut a promo on Ziggler, and the way he did it, it was like a backhanded compliment, which I would take that from Triple H any day of the week, the way he delivered it, because the way he did it was gold. Because he sold Dolph like, you know what? You work your ass off. You do everything you can to give a good show. You bust your ass. You are a hard worker, probably the hardest worker in this company. But if you join with Cena and Cena's team loses, he's not going to get they're not going to put the blame on him. It's not going to fall on him. It's going to fall on you. And he hit the nail on the head with that, and that's an honest to goodness retrospect, because let's just say for the hell of it, if Cena's team does lose, then next thing you know, it's not going to fall on him because he's #1 contender against Brock. He's probably going to get booked for a TLC match at the pay-per-view in December. So, you know, it's obvious on how that's going to go. So he's not going to get any kind of repercussion from it. He's going into a title match. Whereas the rest of his team would just be like, well, shit, we lost, now what? And that's it. Now, back to the matter at hand. The match, it was very beautiful. Both guys gave a very stellar, phenomenal show. Biggest pet peeve that I had with the match, though, was the ending. Seth wound up hitting a curb stomp, and just as he was about to go for a pin, Randy came out of nowhere and RKO'd, and there was never once a bell rung or anything announced saying who won, whether it was DQ or what, you know. So, seriously, don't give us this kind of a stellar, phenomenal match and then give us an indecisive win. An indecisive way to end it. Because, yeah, seriously. Next up, it was Titus O'Neil versus Ryback. And my issue with Ryback, and I try not to shit on the performers because I used to be a performer myself, but I got issues with Ryback because, and honest to goodness, true story here, folks. A lot of you probably still do know, like I said before, I went to a SmackDown show, I went to the one that was the go-home show before Money in the Bank. Now, I went to that. I went there with my dad. My dad was actually the one that really wanted to go, so I bought the tickets and we went. We got to the hotel. Our hotel was literally right next to the arena. So when we parked the car, we got out, went over, looked at the arena, we saw the spot where wrestlers were driving in, saying hi to fans and all. My dad looked at me and was like, hey, you want to go sing? I'm like, okay, why not? So, walked around the block, went to go over and see, you know, saw a lot of the guys waving to the fans like, hey, hope you enjoy the show, all that kind of stuff. And then comes Ryberg. And yeah, there was a kid there who was mentally and physically touched. You know, sitting there like this. He was the only one that was holding up a sign for Ryback, and he was the only one cheering for Ryback. The rotten cocksucker just completely ignored that kid, went past it, and started going and trying to hit on some 20-year-old chick. Which pissed me off to no fucking end, because you do not ignore your fan base. I don't care if they're short, fat, skinny, old, cold, covered with mold, whatever. You don't ignore your fan base. You got someone cheering for you, you will thank them. You know what? That's my personal issue. I know for a fact, I got other people that I talk to that that fuckknuckle wound up harassing and was giving them shit for. You know? That's just bull. That's my issue with him. Ryback wound up getting a win. And yeah. Next matchup, it was Show versus Henry. Always good to see. Yeah, not good. Not a big fan of seeing two big guys go at it. Really, it's kind of hard to tell a really good story. But with these guys, it was kind of what you would expect. Just giant, kind of thing. You know, them two mushing and smushing each other, kind of deal. Wasn't expecting a technical show by any means or standards, but. Biggest shock probably came to be when Show wound up doing a submission, which anytime I see him do a submission, I keep on looking outside to see if I see 4 guys riding horses. You know, because I'm pretty sure Big Show doing a submission now is a telltale sign of the end of days. But the match wound up coming to an end when Henry wound up picking up the stairs and slammed it at Show. Next thing you know, he laid out the other set of stairs, picked up Show, wham, gave him a world's strongest slam, yelled, "That's what I do," picked up his shirt, and then threw it on top of him. And yeah, it's pretty sure if you'd have put that kind of a shirt on me, I'm a medium, you know. Henry's like a 4XL, man. You put a shirt like that on me, that's gonna be like a parachute. I think the neck would just fit around my waist. Ugh. But yeah, I met Mark Henry once. He's a cool guy. I dig him, and he does a phenomenal heel. So yeah, but yeah, next matchup it was ST Divas. The Bella that got the boob job versus Emma. I absolutely love Emma in NXT. I don't like main roster Emma. I think it's just because her character and her gimmick just doesn't mesh with what's on the main roster, you know. That's just me though, but like seeing Emma in action. She's a phenomenal wrestler. I really like her. You know, Nikki wound up getting the win, which, by the way, again, WWE creative, naming the one that got that wound up getting 2 giant balloons stuffed in their chest, having her finisher be named Rack Attack? Really? Why don't you just have her do a crossbody and have it called the Boo Bomb? Anyways, after that, she wound up getting her slave sister to go over and slap AJ, who was out there doing commentary the whole time, and yeah, just to do the whole "yeah, I own you, bitch" kind of thing. Yeah, it's not really digging on how they're doing that with them. But, yeah. They're going to wind up doing a title match, AJ versus the big booped one. You know AJ's obviously going to win because she's on the reality show. They're not going to have the girls that are on the reality show win the strap. And, yeah. Next matchup, Ryder versus Rusev. I don't even need to describe on how this went down. Rusev won, accolade. Best part of the match was Lana. I don't really do wrestling crushes on wrestling girls. I try not to do that because it just doesn't feel right with me, you know. It's just, see Lana just... kind of thing. Yeah? See Lana, jaw hits the floor. Just can't help it. But yeah, she cut an anti-US she cut an anti-US propaganda kind of promo again, glorifying Putin. Next thing you know, talking about on how Rusev's gonna win his match that was exclusive on the network after Raw, which also I did not watch. But given how Sheamus lost and given that Rusev won, I think we all know how that match went down. But yeah. And Sheamus wound up coming out saying, you know, I take pride wearing this strap because I take pride wearing this title because it just shows that anyone can live. Anyone can achieve their dream here. And yeah, it was pretty good. I dug that. But you know, that's about it. I think they should have saved that match for a pay-per-view, or at the very least, you know, book that on the actual show, on Raw or SmackDown even. But that's me. Next matchup, it was Stardust versus one of the Matadors. Now, I'm going to say this now, because I've said it before. I refuse to chant Ole until El Generico saves all of the orphans in Mexico. And I hope Kevin Steen is really helping him well down there. But on an unrelated note, I did hear that there's this new guy in NXT named Kevin Owens who wrestles a lot like Steen. And not only that, there's also, I also know have on good authority, Sami Zayn wound up working with El Generico for some time at Generico's orphanage. So, you know, that's just the information I know. I'm bestowing my information that I know onto you, because you all should as well. The match, yeah, it was a pretty okay mid-card match. You know, best part of it was Miz and Mizdow were ringside doing commentary, and they hit the nail on the head. Like, why are you guys out here? We're scouting tag team competition. Yeah, now that they're gonna have them in the title chase, beautiful idea. I am really hoping that we can get Mizdow with a strap on him. You know, that would be really good. Yeah. The one Matador, I can't remember their names for the life of me. They wound up winning the match with the backstabber on Stardust, and it was, yeah, it's nice seeing the backstabber being used as a finisher again, as opposed to when ADR was on and he had it as a signature move. Yeah, that was kind of a pet peeve of mine. Now, main event of the night, it was Randy versus Seth, and the way it was booked, it's kind of like what I've said before. You know, booking babyface versus babyface is really hard. But booking heel and heel, it's hard also, but it's not as hard, because the way Triple H did it, it wound up working. Just like in the way I always kind of did it. I always kind of saw it. You know, with the, you know what, you two don't like each other, you're going to go out there, you're going to fight, you're going to settle your differences, and then you're going to come back here, shake hands, and then move along. And that's on how they set that whole feel for the match up. Now, the match itself, I was really impressed with phenomenally. It was a beautiful match. Probably, hands down, in my opinion, match of the night. You know, really good match. I absolutely liked it. You can see Randy, he's now starting to get a natural face turn going for him. Not just, okay, Randy, we're going to turn your face in a few weeks. Kind of face turn. It was a natural one, which works well for him. You know, if anyone can turn face or heel naturally, then it works better, at least in my book. But, yeah, the way that, yeah, the match itself, it was really good, loved it. And the finish wound up coming to be when Randy went to go and do the RKO, Seth wound up getting him, hit a backslide, got the 1, 2, 3 that way, and then that Kane and the Cruiserweight division, I mean, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury came out, and we're all in the ring with Seth, and Randy just looked, he was like, went over, shook Jamie Noble's hand, shook Joey Mercury, shook Kane's, went over to Seth, shook his hand, RKO'd, started beating the shit out of him, and then Noble, Mercury, Kane, and then Hunter came in, and he did very much in the same manner like what I do when my son gets mad. Just looking, he's like, listen, calm down, calm down. Obviously not, when I say in the same kind of manner, I mean just talking. I'm not talking like head to head, like face to face like that, like just look like, hey, calm down. It's good. Calm down. Went to go and calmed him down. Went to go tell Randy to walk off. Shrugged Hunter's shoulders. He was like, motherfucker, no you didn't. Grabbed Randy. Next thing you know, Randy, wham, RKO'd Hunter. And then they all went to town on him. And Seth curb stomped Randy on the announce table. And Randy wound up getting a small little gash in his forehead, which sold the beatdown beautifully, because that's what made the beatdown. The fact, you know, you don't need a crimson mask, but if you can get them to have a small gash, then that just shows, oh damn, this is serious. Look, look, he's bleeding. You know, you can get the casual fan to do that. And next thing you know, Steph's looking like, no, finish this. And then Hunter's just like, damn it, I really didn't want this. Alright guys, finish it. And then they walk off, and then Seth curb stomps Randy on the steel steps. And that's how they end the show. Very beautiful. You can see Randy's going to wind up working on Cena's team. 10 gets you 20. It's either going to be Randy or Cena that gets the winning fall. You know, they're probably also going to build up to a match with him and Rollins. And I would like to see if they did a ladder match at the next TLC pay-per-view, a ladder match for the Money in the Bank contract. But yeah, that's all the time for this week's show. So like on normal, folks, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I don't use that one a whole lot. Yeah, I've been using it to help also promote the show, which, like I said, I'm a promoter. I do what I gotta to get my product out there. So if it winds up annoying some people, I'm sorry. But I have my one set target audience here. I gotta stretch out to make my audience bigger. So what else am I to do? Also, make sure y'all follow all these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all check out Vicky's YouTube page. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morris, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's show, Axel's Analysis. Talks about NXT, indie shows. Hands down, one of the most educated fans I've ever had the courtesy to have a conversation with. Always love talking shop with you, brother. It's always a pleasure, never a burden. Sunday Segue. Kenny, hope I can get back on the show again sometime soon, brother. I know that one time I was on, it felt so good. It was too long since I've been on there, man. Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Oliver Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Make sure y'all check out Ollie Ben's and Masked Mark's TNA Turnaround. And also, my client, who is the Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch Forever. And when I do that, I mean number 4. And like I always tell y'all, you love me, great. You hate me, fuck yous.